The story about Hamid, an asylum seeker who has been through a very tough time under precarious visa in Australia and will need to renew his bridging visa every 6 months. He have to endure the mental pressure and disadvantages for not having privilege as other Australian citizens would have. He would not be included as one of the real members of the society due to his exhausted legal options. I feel the sympathy for Hamid's sufferings and his fear of being sent back to the country where he decided to plead at all costs. Being in Australia during the pandemic, I can also feel his struggling when there are none or limited access to the government support during the midst of the COVID-19. Despite contributing for almost 10 years to the local farm, but still have to live with mental anguish of the uncertain future. From the critical lens, I can totally sympathize for his prolonged mental suffering as having the same experience listening to one of my friend's story who has been living on bridging visa for nearly a decade but still cannot have the ability of seeing his family members after many years apart. As an active listener, I always pay close and careful attention to the story details, which makes the storyteller feel respected and understood. My way of listening to the story can help me to form a better relationship and understanding of an inclusive environment. Reading the story connects me deeply to an early childhood setting where refugee asylum seeker children are vulnerable as they are subject to the huge upheaval and changes in their lives and impacted by certain living conditions of detention camp. As each children have rights to access to a rich learning environment, different approaches can be used to promote an inclusive practice. Educators can create a welcoming classroom environment by arranging counseling sessions to young children and families, familiarizing families with classroom, connecting with related community groups. It can help refugee children to feel the sense of belonging, foster their recovery and well-being, and while providing them support in their development and learning. On the activist perspectives stated by Nguyen-Student et al. 2012, that is to focus on the politics and power relations embedded in the problem, that is, the agendas, interests, and discourses that shape how it is presented. I think I can advocate for refugee children by signing up for refugee rights in petition campaigns, amplifying the voice of refugees throughout the LEAVE program and social media.